radio, so I was going to be interviewing him, and I had interviewed him a couple of times previously, and sort of knew him somewhat, and I put it out to him. I said to him, would you help me with my proposal to my my now fiance? And he was like, you know what, man, 110%. So we surprised my girl. I told her that she was getting a one-on-one private meet and greet with Will Smith. So he walks up on the roof of the building. She thinks she's going to take a photo with him, and he pulls out my phone, and he's got it in selfie mode. So it's just her and Will in the frame, and then I secretly go from behind and get on my knees with the ring bearing, and she sees in the reflection of the phone that I'm just about to propose to her. So Will Smith was an absolute legend. He then posted on his Instagram. I think the thing got about like 25 million views. It was pretty surreal.
Wow. That's incredible. And then it doesn't stop there with your famous friends. So Will Smith does your wedding proposal, and then Ryan Seacrest invites you on his show and pulls you out of a TV audience. Why?
Yeah, again, it's weird. Like, it's funny how things work from that. I end up getting, like, we started getting calls from, like, TMZ and all these, like, American and, like, sort of TV shows. And the next thing you know, I got invited to go to sort of the Ryan Seacrest show, which is a huge TV show out there in New York. And they pulled me out of the crowd, and then they interviewed me about it, and interviewed me and Brianna, my fiance. It was pretty cool. So, yeah, I don't know. It was a moment where I was just like, am I really in Jordan proposing to my girl with Will Smith here? And it was sort of those moments where you sort of look back and go, yep, I am. It's pretty cool.
Were you worried that if it went wrong, Will Smith was kind of part of a failed marriage proposal?
Well, you know what? The funniest bit was, like, his people, he's got obviously a lot of people, right? And they call me up, and they're in a nice way, they were trying to work out if there was any chance that she was going to say no. Because if there was, I don't think they wanted to be part of it. You know what I mean? So they were asking, like, you know, like, how long have you guys been together? Does she, like, are you guys really in love? And I'm like, yeah. And then they just blatantly asked, are you sure she's going to say yes? And I was like, in my mind, yeah, I knew where we were relationship-wise, and I knew that 100% that Brianna would say yes. So, but it was pretty amazing, man. Will Smith's a legend. I said to him, sort of when we're off the cameras and all that, I said to him, man, I really appreciate you taking the time to do this, because I know you got a really busy schedule. And he said to me, you know what? He goes, I had a life change about a year and a half ago. He said his daughter, he wanted his daughter to get into movies and film, and he was pushing her to do that. And then he realized that she never wanted to do that. And the moment that she sort of rebelled, she shaved her head. Willow, she shaved her head. And that was the moment that him and his daughter sort of sat down and had a good chat. And from that, he said, I had a bit of a life change where I just want to make people happy, and I want to make people smile. So he goes, anywhere I can make someone happy or smile, I want to be a part of it. And he said, Kris, being there on such a special moment makes me smile, and I know it's going to make you guys smile. So he goes, that's why I want to be part of it.
Oh, that's so cool.
Jesus, I loved Will Smith before this, and now I love him
even more.
Well, there was always the danger too. She thought Will Smith was proposing to her as well.
Yeah.
You're like, no.
The photo that we've got, when you post on Instagram, you just got engaged. The photo is of, it goes, Brianna's in the middle, and Will's on the right, and I'm on the left. So you can literally just crop me out, and it looks like Will and my girl have just been married.
Oh, Kris, so good talking to you, mate. You're a Virgin breakfast host in Dubai. Would love to talk to you again. You've got some amazing stories, but we've got to fly right now.
Man, you guys keep doing what you're doing. You're legends. Good luck for the 24 hours.
Thanks so much,
Thanks
Kris.
to the new V sugar-free berry twist. Jono, Ben and Sharyn could be world record holders by 3 p.m. tomorrow. This is Jono, Ben and Sharyn's 24-hour world record interview attempt, live on Rover.
And can we just stipulate Kris was not, in fact, a virgin on radio.
No.
Worked for Virgin Radio. Just getting a couple of texts about that. Why are you stating that he's a virgin?
No, that's not why we were talking to him.
And I don't know the history of his sex life, but I'm sure it's healthy and fruitful.
Thank you for that.
Thank you, Sharyn.
We've got a very special guest on the phone with us right now. Her name is Katerina Clark, and she is a TEDx speaker. And just like a little rundown about Kat, she was adopted out of Russia. She came out as gay. She tried to take her own life, and then she went on to create something pretty freaking amazing. Kat, thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, thank you for having me.
What a story.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people say.
It's an incredible story. And now, so you've been through this roller coaster of a journey, and now you've set up the first ever LGBTQ support network down in Tauranga.
I did. Yeah, created that a few years back when I actually Googled for support for myself, and there was nothing here, and I just thought, no, this is not good enough. We need some more support out there for young people, so they don't have to go through what I went through. Just to discover who they are.
What do you go through? Explain to the audience what sort of emotions you go through, what you have to deal with your peers and things like that.
Yeah, well, a lot of it is isolation, especially. I mean, it's a little different now with this generation, but I mean, I'm talking about 6 or 7 years back. Especially for Tauranga, you feel really isolated. I thought I was the only gay person on the planet because I went to a Christian school as well, so I was very sheltered, so I didn't really know what gay meant or if it even existed. And then obviously I talk a lot about the use of language, referring things that are gay can actually be quite negative, and
yes.
then,
It's, and that stuff takes its toll, doesn't it? Now, for someone, I haven't experienced this, but for someone like yourself who did discover that you were gay, what was the moment where you're like, well, yep, this is who I am?
It took a little while because I was in America. I was living in Philadelphia and walking down the streets in Philadelphia, and I saw 2 guys coming towards me holding hands, and I all of a sudden had this instant connection, and the sense of belonging to this community. And the neighbourhood is actually called Gayborhood. So I was walking through the...
Great pun, by the way. Great pun, the Gayborhood. Love it.
Awesome. So I had no idea. So when I did research, that's when I discovered this whole gay community and being lesbian and stuff. And I just thought, oh, crap, And with my beliefs at the time and just being adopted as well, I feared that my parents would reject me. So, I was really scared, and I hid that secret for about another 2.5 years since I actually discovered myself.
Jeez. I tell you, and if anyone, unfortunately, we're running out of time, but if anyone wants to find out more about what you're doing and what you've done for the community in Tauranga, how can they find out?
They can email lines.speaker@gmail.com or Instagram Katerina Clark _speaker, and they can contact me and, meet up.
Katerina, what a champ.
We would love to keep talking to you, but we've got to push on with this world record. But seriously, thank you so much for everything that you're doing. It's really, really important, and we need more people like you out there, Katerina. So thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thanks so much, Kat.
You're witnessing history. Even if it's pointless history, it's still history. This is Jono, Ben and Sharon's 24-hour world record interview attempt. Thanks to the new V sugar-free berry twist. Try the delicious tasting and refreshing berry flavour without the sugar.
Now, I know we're streaming this on the Jono, Ben and Sharon Facebook page. Ben, get me the insights. What are the insights, mate? How many people are watching this?
I don't know.
Not many, mate.
Is there not many? Dan, how many people are watching this shambles?
Who cares? We've got interviews to do. We've got interviews to do, mate.
Oh, yeah, over 300. Not bad. Jess Quinn, welcome.
Yeah.
Bloody good to see you.
Jess Quinn.
Skill.
Turn on her mic.
Oh, sorry, there we go.
There we go.
Sorry.
I was joining in.
I know, that was great.
So it was my bad. How are you, Jess?
Good.
Jess.
Good.
Cheers.
Yeah. Should we just say Jess?
Now, we've interviewed you so many times. You tell us one thing about you that we wouldn't know.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, great question, Jono. Still finding the great questions after 3
Put me
hours.
on the spot like this. I don't know. What's one thing? Do you know that I only have one leg? Did you know
Yes,
that?
no, didn't hear that. I heard that
You
rumor.
heard that rumour?
No.
There's a rumour going around. It's true.
We don't know where you live.
It's not
Don't tell us,
photoshopped.
but we don't know where you live. There's
No,
something about you.
I live in Auckland. I've always lived in Auckland. It makes me feel really boring that I don't have a fun fact
You're not
for
boring,
you.
mate.
You've
You're
got
not
fun
boring.
facts. We were actually just talking to Katerina Clark, who is another TEDx speaker.
Yes.
You've done a TED talk as well. What sort of preparation goes into those sorts of things? Because they look very intense.
Yeah, I think usually quite a lot. When I got to you have like a team that you do it with in terms of other speakers at the same time. And one of the speakers was like, oh yeah. I was like, when did you start rehearsing? She's like, I wrote mine a year ago and I've been working on it. I got 10 days notice. So
Oh my God.
there wasn't much prep for me. It was like,
Wow.
you're doing a TED talk in 10 days. So for me, it was write it within literally a day pretty much, or probably a day and a half once it was proofread. And then it was repeat it like endlessly. And I
Shivers.
recorded myself speaking. So if I drove anywhere, if I was at at the gym, all I was listening to was myself. So by the end of that 10 days, I was like, just get me out of
You've
here.
driven yourself to the brink of insanity.
Literally.
How does that come about? Do they get in touch with you and they're like, hey, you want some sweet Bunsen? Do some talking?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you don't get paid to do a TED Talk.
Yeah, I was
if
just
that's
thinking
what
that.
that
That was
segment
Bunsen. You don't get paid?
No, you don't
What
get.
the fuck do
I
you
mean,
do?
I did it. Maybe everyone else
Tons
may.
of help.
It's just that's a bucket list.
It's a tick in
TED
the box for
Talks
me,
are
yeah.
honest
Well,
to
it's
be
just a
asked.
good thing to do.
Yeah, mate, it's helping people. It's inspirational people helping
But you
other
don't get
people.
paid.
Mate,
Mate,
not all of us can host the freaking Spark Awards.
I'm gonna laugh if someone writes in and say that you do get paid for a TED Talk.
Yeah,
but
you're
I
like,
didn't get paid.
I don't want any money. Oh, that's interesting. I thought you'd get. Yeah.
You do some amazing things.
Well, I'm sure Ted's getting paid.
I mean, I'm sure Ted is getting
Yeah,
paid.
where's Ted?
And what's his last name
TED
if it
stands
starts
for
with
something.
X?
Oh,
It's like thought
Thought, education,
and
dilemmas, dating, disasters.
dating. It must be
Love.
dating.
Let me. I'll do some
Dating.
googling.
Okay.
Just in all seriousness, you do some amazing things, not just with the TED talking, but also for positivity online for people as well. You know, been on the projects in Australia. It's a pretty awesome thing. As someone who's got a couple of young girls, it's awesome to have role models like yourself. So thank you
Thank
for what you
you.
do. It's amazing to see you go out there and do that sort of thing.
Thank you. Yeah,
This is what Ben says to me when he's drunk.
No, yeah.
Oh, you've been drinking.
Yeah. No, I've been
much
very
meat.
tired.
I'm joking.
Yeah.
No, you mean it. I know you mean it.
TED stands for technology, entertainment, and design.
I mean, we were close.
Ooh,
You were
very
close.
close.
Jess, I wish we could keep talking to you, but I've been
Same.
told to wrap it up.
Oh,
We're going to wrap it up. We're going to get another 300.
We're running out of questions.
You were
Too many
number
interviews.
51.
51.
51.
That's a good number.
And you're a good 51.
You were good.
you.
It was
Yeah,
fun.
thanks, guys.
It's fun. It's always fun
I would
catching
have
up.
put you at a 98, but they booked you at 51.
Ah, okay.
51's good, though. 51's good.
98?
You've made this
No,
weird now.
no, 98 would be losing our mind. So we're
okay.
I was
semi-coherent.
trying to say
Okay,
something.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Check it out.
Okay. Hey, lovely to see you,
Good luck,
Jess.
guys.
Jess
Thank
Quinn.
you.
Just when you thought this couldn't get any worse, we've invited these guests to help crush the world record.
Mitch James, Monty Beetham, and Melody Thornton from the Pussycat Dolls.
This is Jono, Ben and Sharon's 24-hour world record interview attempt. Thanks to the new V sugar-free berry twist. Try the delicious tasting and refreshing berry flavour without the sugar.
Welcome back. The 24-hour interviews, 348 of them we're going through. Just doing a bit of a photo with Jess. This is great for radio. Thank you, Jess Quinn.
Thank you.
Bloody
Thank you, Jess.
champion.
Bye.
What
All
a champion.
Right. Next up, we've
Okay.
got another brilliant interview to do. You may have heard of the show Brokenwood Mysteries.
Oh, I do love the Brokenwood Mysteries. That's a good little crime
Her
series.
name is Cristina Londa. Did I say your last name properly, Cristina?
Hi.
Hi, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Very excited because I did not realize that Transylvania was a real place, and that's where you're from.
Are you kidding? Of course, it's a real place.
I thought it was a fictional place, and so you.
No. You are not the first person who is telling me that, but it's a real place, actually.
How is your father the Count?
My father is not a count, but his name is Constantine.
Oh, he's not a Count.
You got to be very careful with that. You say that.
It's Constantine, nothing else.
So you actually grew up in the same town as Dracula's castle, as funny as Jono's being right now, but you actually did grow up there.
Yes, so actually the castle is 30 kilometers from my parents' house. So you can't say you walk there, but you could drive easily.
Is it like Hobbiton in New Zealand where we've gone a little bit crazy with, like Meta, is Hobbiton and it's got like Hobbit this and
Yes.
Hobbit that. Are you kind of like that in Transylvania? It's gone Count crazy?
Yeah, I mean, we are castle crazy, actually. I mean, actually, the Dracula was a real person, was a historical person. I'm not so sure if you know that.
What?
we-
Oh my god, I'm
Yes,
Googling.
a historical person. It's called Vlad Dracul, which Dracul means the devil in a way, but this was his last name. And in Middle Age, people were cruel anyway because of the Dark Ages, or I don't know, the sun wasn't shining so bright. I really don't know. But anyway, he was a real character, and actually he was quite loved by his people.
And so,
Wow.
Yeah. So when all this, Bram started the story about it, he actually was inspired by this real event. I mean, he was quite cruel in a way that if, for example, the Ottomans or a thief was coming to the country to steal or whatever, he was putting them in an arrow. This is real fact.
that is good. And so what do we call people from Transylvania? Transylvesians?
Albanians.
Transylvanians.
Transylvanian.
Oh, like Sylvanian families, those little anyway.
Great.
Just as cute. Just as cute.
And you're back in New Zealand now filming Broken Wood Mysteries. How's that going?
It's going actually very well. We are blessed with good weather, very lovely scripts, and nice cast and crew. So what do you want more?
What do you want more? Very good weather, very lovely scripts, and a good cast and crew, Sharyn.
Yes.
The opposite of what's happening right now.
I reckon. Well, Cristina, thank you so much for joining us. All the best with the filming of Broken Wood Mysteries, and we'll talk to you again
so much.
soon.
We'll talk soon.
Thank you.
That's really
This is my
interesting.
first time I've ever spoken to a Transylvanian. Ladies and gentlemen, 24-hour interviews.
That's fitting for our next guest.
Welcome.
Hey, just a question. What do you guys want for dinner? They want to know.
Oh, I don't
I'm
know.
going to get better burger. Would you like that, or would you like something else?
Burgers are good. Yeah, I love burgers.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's what they're into, guys.
Joining us on the phone now, a current record holder, the man who has done the most amount of bungee jumping out of any of the men or women on this planet who are also accomplished bungee jumpers.
Sexist!
The best bungee person, Mike Hurd. Welcome. How many bungees did you do in a 24-hour
Talk
period?
this through, because I'm worried about the long-lasting effects on you.
430 was the last one. It was 2 years ago.
And
Wow!
So 430 in how long?
It was 24 hours, just like you guys.
And the brain damage. Are you like a rugby player in their 50s?
Yeah, without the cauliflower ears.
Yeah,
I
that's
imagine
good.
it must really rattle your head around.
Yeah, it did. No, it did. Hanging upside down for that long and flipping around was pretty crazy.
Can you go down butt first?
You can go down butt first, but then you get a brown butt when you hit the water.
Do you bungee jump now just for a laugh?
Yes.
You do, so you still enjoy bungee jumping?
Yeah, I don't get the same adrenaline hit. You do it, with the first time I do it for fun.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Riding a roller coaster.
by number 400 of a bungee jump, you must be like, it's just like walking across the road type thing.
Yeah, it is. It's like riding a roller coaster, I suppose. You just go round and round, and you get a little bit sick and bumping up and down, and then you start to get hungry and need to go to the toilet, and you just have to stop and do all the things people normally do.
Whoever booked this guy, because well done, you've just made our effort look like a bloody pussy marathon.
We just talked to some people for 24 hours.
This guy's but like literally causing himself long-lasting brain damage for charity. We're not even doing this for charity.
No.
Oh, God.
Or I wanted to do it for
Hang
charity.
up on him now. He's making us look bad.
Yeah, get rid of him.
I wanted to do it for
He's
charity,
gone.
but Jono said no.
Yeah, no,
I'm not a
John's
fan of
hate
charity. Hate charity. Hey, Mike Hurd, you are a legend. Honestly, we work with Mike, and he's the nicest man
He's a little
ever.
bit slow,
nicest.
slow because of the bungee jumping, but hey, that's fine.
Thanks very much. My
I'm
advice
kidding.
is don't stop till you've broken it.
Don't stop till
Okay,
you've broken
we
it.
won't
All right,
stop.
we'll keep going, mate.
Thanks, Mike.
No sleep till Christmas, guys.
That doesn't apply to lovemaking. I just like to.
Adios, amigos, and welcome to our next guest, Dave from Villa Maria. He is a winemaker.
Oh, Dave, how's it going, buddy?
Hey guys, I'm well. Ben, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm doing. I'm
How do
Dave
you
an
guys know
acquaintance,
each
is he?
other?
I'm mates with Dave. Dave
All right,
is one of
give
the
us history.
winemakers at Villa Maria. Very interesting. If you want to know anything about wine, and I've talked Dave's ear off many times about wine, he's the guy to ask.
Is Ben a bit of a punisher when he comes to visit you, Dave?
Oh, look, we know about, as long as it's about 14%, Ben's happy, so, that's fine. Red or white.
Can I ask you a question? Dave, as an experienced winologist, what is one wine that you would suggest you buy to impress everyone in the room? And they're like, oh, look who's walked in here, wine guy.
Wine guy.
Oh, look, I think it's just it's a matter of choice. I think. I mean, it's easy to find everyday kind of wines out there, but maybe go out of your way a little bit and find something a bit more unique, and that might mean you're spending an extra $5 or $6. But something like Pinot Noir, man, that's such a go-to wine at the moment. New Zealand does it real well. So
Okay, so you're going to order, and you're responsible. You're on a date. You want to order. Going for the second cheapest wine. That's kind of what I would probably go for. You're not going for the cheapest, but you're going for the second cheapest. Is that a good option, or is that